welcome back. I'm here again for Standard 7, Subject Science. As we have started a new chapter, chapter number 9, Soil. So this is the second part of a new chapter. As we have learned in the first part, what is soil and what is soil teeming with life and soil profile. As the word teeming means it's full of life. So soil is the full of life in a natural human being. And second thing is soil profile. As the word profile indicates the layers. So we have studied this in the first part. So now we are going to study with the third, soil types and what are the properties of soil and the moisture in soil. So first of all, in science, in any substance or any things you are studying, the first thing we are going to study about the types and the properties. So this is the main thing of any substance or any things you are studying. So the first thing is soil types. There are mainly three types of soil: sandy soil, clay soil, and loamy soil. So as you know, weathering of rocks produces small particles of various materials. As you know, the main rocks are there due to the weathering and change in climate, due to the rain, that rock particles disintegrates into the smaller particles and flows to the ground. So this includes sand and clay. The relative amount of sand and clay depends upon the rock from which the particles are formed. So depending on the rock, due to the weathering, the smaller particles will be produced, and depending upon the rock, the particles which are going through it depends upon the types of the soil. The relative amount of sand and clay, main thing is sand and clay is included in the soil. The different proportion of the sand and clay, that indicates which types of soil is present, and sandy soil or clayey soil or humus soil. The relative amount of sand and clay depends upon the rock from which the particles are formed. That is the parent rock. The mixture of rock particles and humus is called the soil. What is humus? As we have studied in the first part, the humus is the dead organic leaves and organic materials, and which floats above the water. As we have studied in the soil profile, as we have seen in the soil profile, there are different layers of soil. So the humus part is the dead organisms and the dead leaves which float on the water, which is lighter and floats above the water. So living organisms such as bacteria, plant roots and earthworms are also important parts of any soil. The soil is classified on the basis of the proportion of particles of various sizes. So it is classified depending upon the proportion and the size of the materials. If soil contains greater proportion of big particles, greater proportion of big particles is called sandy soil. So sandy soil, greater proportion of big particles. Clear? So this is sandy soil. Now we have clay soil. So the proportion of greater size, the size, it depends upon the sandy soil. As sandy soil has large size is large, the substance of large, so there is a space between these two particles which is present in air, and due to the presence of air, the water passes through the sandy soil is fast. So its soil contains greater proportion of big particles, it is called as sandy soil. if the proportion of fine particle is relatively higher, fine particles is high. If fine particles is high, that means the space between these two particles is less. That means air is present less in this between these two particles and will become compact. As both the particles become compact, that means it absorbs more amount of water and it is heavier than the sandy soil. So, if the proportion of fine particles is relatively higher, then it is called clay soil. It is called as clay soil. If the amount of large and fine particles is about the same, large particle and fine particles is same, then it is called as loamy soil. If the amount of large and fine particles is about the same, then the soil is called as loamy soil. Thus, the soil can be classified as sandy, clay, and loamy. The size of the particle in a soil has an influence on its properties. The size of the particle, it influences on its properties. Any substance, whether it is bigger or small, if we see the size of it, the second thing we will see the properties of that substance. So sand particles are quite large. They cannot fit close together. So there are large spaces between them. Sand particles are large. So they cannot be close together. They cannot be fully tight. So there is a space, more space between these two particles, and because of this more space, air is present in it. They cannot fit close together, so there are large spaces between them. These spaces are filled with air. We say that the sand is well aerated. Sand is well aerated, that more amount of air is present in the sandy soil. Water can drain quickly through the spaces between the sand particles. Water can be drained quickly. कोई भी चीज हम लेते हैं, if we take up larger particles of small pebbles, we pass the water through it, it flows easily and goes through it. So sandy soil tends to be light, well aerated and rather dry. Because water passes through it fast, so it remains dry. Clay particles being much smaller, as you know, clay particles being much smaller, then it is compact, and due to the amount of water in it, it becomes heavy. So clay particles being much smaller, packed tightly together, leaving little space for air. Unlike sandy soil, water can be held in the tiny gaps between the particles of clay. So clay soils have less air, but they are heavy as they hold more amount of water than the sandy soil. The best topsoil for growing plants is loam. The best topsoil in growing plants is loam, which is loamy soil. So the fine particles and the large particles, both the amount of proportion is same. Loamy soil is a mixture of sand, clay and other type of soil particles known as silt. Silt occurs as a deposit in river beds. The size of the silt particles is between those of sand and clay. So what is silt? It is the silt, it's near the river bed. So the size of the silt particle is between the larger particles and the smaller particles and the sand and clay. The loamy soil also has humus in it. As you know, humus, the dead materials which is light here and float above the water. It has the right water holding capacity for the growth of plants. As you know, for the growth of plants, the amount of water should be there in it. It cannot be fully drained outside. It cannot be whole water, because a little bit of amount holding capacity of the soil, it helps to grow plants. So there is an activity given here. Collect samples of clayey, loamy and sandy soils. Take a fistful of soil from one of the examples. From one of the samples. Remove any pebbles, rock or grass blades in it. कोई भी बड़ी चीज उसमें से निकाल दो. Now add water drop by drop and knead the soil. Add just enough water so that a ball can be made from it. यानी मिट्टी लेना हमारे को. We will add water and we are going to make a dove-like thing and we are making a ball from the sand, from the soil. But at the same time, it should not be sticky. Not more amount of water should be added. Try to make a ball from this soil. On a flat surface, roll this ball into a cylinder. Try to make a ring from this cylinder. फिर make a ball बनाया, उसको टेबल के ऊपर रोल किया, रोल करने बाद cylindrical में complete हुआ, and then with this cylindrical shape, we are going to curve it and make it into a ring. Try to make a ring from this cylinder. Repeat this activity with other samples also. Does the extent to which a soil can be shaped indicate its type? Can you suggest which type of soil will be best for making pots, toys and statues? So, toys and pots and statues, which type of soil? Because sticky and heavy we as the second type of soil we have studied clay. So, fine particle is right. With this fine particle, they are compact. So, making this material like pot and clay. So, with this compact sand with soil, with that is clay soil is best for making pot, toys and statues. Now, we have studied about the different types and now we are going to the properties of the soil. We have listed some uses of soil. Now, let us understand the properties of soil. The first one is percolation, rate of water in soil. Percolation. So what do you mean by percolation? Collation, as you the term understand, collation means relation. So, and per means piercing, draining out. So, draining of water with the relation of time is called as percolation. So, rate of water in soil. Passing through filter. It's just a relation, passing through the filter. It's called as percolation. So, Pujo and Paley marked two different squares of 50 cm by 50 cm each. One on the floor of their house, एक फ्लोर पे रखा जिसके ऊपर टाइल्स है, एक ग्राउंड पे जहां मिट्टी है, कच्ची मिट्टी है, and the other on the कच्चा रोड. They filled two bottles of the same size with water. They emptied the water from the bottles, one each at the same time in two different squares. They observed that the water on the floor flowed down and was not absorbed. अब जो टाइल्स के ऊपर जो रखा हुआ है, the water flows down, उसके अंदर absorb नहीं होगा, because the tiles is there which cannot be absorbed. And on another side, on a कच्चा road, the water being absorbed. They observed that the water on the floor flowed down and was not absorbed. On the other kacha road, the water was absorbed. Now let us perform an activity to understand this. So there is an activity given here. Divide yourself into three teams. Team A, B and C, you will be finding out how the fast the water passes down the soil. अब हमारे को एक्सपेरिमेंट क्या करना है कि तीन टीम बनाए और अलग अलग different kinds of soil we are going to take and how much the amount of water at what time, relation to what time will it take, we are going to observe that. So you will need a hollow cylinder on a pipe or a pipe. Ensure that each team uses pipes of the same diameter. Same diameter के pipes लेना because we have to pass water through the soil and we have to find out what amount of time it takes to pass through the soil. So that is called as percolation. So the amount of draining of water through the soil in relation to the time is called as percolation. Such suggestions for obtaining such a pipe are given below. If possible, get a small tin can and cut off its bottom. If PVC pipe approximately diameter 5 and is available, cut it into 26 cm long pieces and use them. So at the place where you collect the soil, place a pipe about 2 cm deep into the ground. You have to pour the pipe into the ground. You have to 2 cm deep inside the soil. Pour 200 ml water in the pipe slowly. For measuring 200 ml, you can use a measured bottle of 200 ml. Note that the time when you start pouring water, when all the water has percolated, leaving the pipe empty. Note the time again. Water passed through the pipe and what the time it takes to remove the water being drained from the pipe into the soil. Be careful not to let the water spill over or run down on the outside of the pipe while pouring. Calculate the rate of percolation by using the following formula. So what is the rate of percolation? The amount of water divided by the time taken. The amount of water, that is 200 ml, and what the time it takes to take it as approximately 20 seconds. So that is called as percolation rate. And this, the unit will be ml per second. Always the unit will be ml per second. So calculate the, for example, suppose that for a certain sample it took 20 minutes for 200 ml to percolate. So rate of percolation, it takes the amount of water and the time, that is 20 minutes. We are going to take as not second but minute. So it will become as these 2 0 cancels and then will become 10. So amount is 10. The amount of rate of percolation is 10 ml per minute. So calculate the rate of percolation in your soil sample. Compare your findings with others and arrange the soil samples in the increasing order of the rate of percolation. In the increasing order, how much amount the rate of percolation depends upon the water taken, amount of water and the time taken to drain through the soil. Now we are going to the second property, moisture in soil. So have you ever passed through a farmland during a hot summer day? Perhaps you notice that the air above the land is shimmering. Shimmering means the light which we see through it. जैसे हम कोई भी जगह पे जाते हैं, कोई भी farm में जाते हैं, what we'll see when the sun shines on the farmland, we see the light and we see that the light shimmers, it shivers like this. So that is called as shimmering. Why is it so? Try out this activity and find the answer. We are going to try it. अब जैसे नाइट के अंदर देखते हैं पानी के ऊपर रहता है मून, जो मून रहता है कि मून की लाइट वहां पानी के ऊपर पॉन्ड के अंदर गिरती है. So we see the moon shivers on the water. So that is called as shimmering. Take a boiling tube, put 2 spoonfuls of a soil sample in it. Heat it on a flame and observe it. Let us find out what happens upon heating. Do you see water drops anywhere? Yes, where did you find them? On heating, water in the soil evaporates, moves up and condenses on the cooler inner walls of the upper part of the boiling tube. On a hot summer day, the vapor coming out from the soil reflects the sunlight. जो पानी का जो अमाउंट जो मॉइस्चर रहता है वो इवेपोरेट होता है, और इवेपोरेट यानी ऊपर पानी इवेपोरेट होता है, और द प्रेजेंस ऑफ सनलाइट, सो द रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ द इवेपोरेशन एंड द प्रेजेंस ऑफ सन रेज एंड द एयर अबव द सॉइल सीम्स टू शिमर. पानी इवेपोरेट हुआ, सनलाइट के जो सन रेज उसके ऊपर गिरते हैं, और जो एयर रहता है air, it moves around, because in summer season we have seen that air is lighter. As air is lighter, so it shimmers, it goes above. So as the air is lighter, the reflection of the sunlight and the water vapor which evaporates from the soil, from the sand, that evaporation, that light is shimmers. That is called as shimmering. And with this shimmering, we'll understand the moisture of soil is also present in it. After heating the soil, take it out of the tube. Compare it with the soil which has not been heated. So we are going to note the difference of it. So the soil which has not been heated, it becomes dry, and the soil which is heated becomes dry, compared to the soil which is not heated, because it contains moisture. And with that moisture, when evaporates due to the presence of sunlight and the sun rays passes through it, it evaporates in the presence of air. That reflection, it shivers, and that is called as shimmering. So moisture in soil we have studied. Now in the next part we are going to study about the absorption of water by soil and crops. Okay students, thank you.